Hello boys and girls, I'm back, and this evening we're going to be looking at word problems. The first thing I want you to realize about word problems is every word problem is really an equation. At least it can be written in an equation form. So we're going to look at some key words and see some patterns in these word problems and try to always take a word problem and figure out what are our knowns and what are our unknowns. And our unknowns will become our variables that we will try to solve for. Let's do a few sample problems together. Girls, let's take a look at this problem. Here's our word problem. Actually, we're going to find out that there's two word problems here. Marco runs 12 miles a week and takes 1 day off from running each week. If he runs the same distance each day, how many miles does he run a day? Okay, it sounds like problem one. Here's problem two. If Juanita runs the same distance each week but takes 3 days off from running each week, how many miles does she run a day? Well, let's take a look at some key information that they've given to us in these word problems. And we're going to use this key information to make an equation. A common pattern with simple word problems, there's usually 3 key pieces of information. 2 pieces of information, you're given the exact amount or values to those key pieces of information. The third is an unknown, and that unknown is what we're going to use or we're going to substitute with a variable. And when we create our equation, it's going to be the variable. Let's see what information they've given us. Well, first of all, it says Marco runs 12 miles a week. Okay, so he runs 12 miles a week total. Okay, it also says that he takes 1 day off. Okay, 1 day off from running each week. Okay, so if he takes 1 day off a week, that's important. And if he runs the same distance each day, how many miles does he run a day? They're asking us, this is the key thing, how many miles does he run a day? Well, what do we know? We know that he runs 12, okay? This is the miles per week, okay? Okay, we know that. It also says that he takes 1 day off from running each week. Well, 1 day off a week means that there's 6 days left, so he runs, okay, he runs 6 days a week. That's good to know. But what the question asks is, how many miles does he run a day? It doesn't tell us that. Sounds like that's our unknown, that's our variable. So we're going to say that'll be, what's a good variable for miles he runs a day? Well, m. Let's use m. Okay, m equals number of miles a day. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Well, we know that he runs 12 miles total. Okay, so I'm going to start my equation out with that, 12. Okay, and we know that he runs the same distance each day for 6 days. So, okay, so, well, m is how many miles he runs a day. We don't know what that is, but we know he runs for 6 days. So, if day 1 he runs m miles, day 2 he'll run m miles, day 3 he'll run m miles, day 4 he runs m miles, day 5 he runs m miles. Okay, day 6 he runs n miles, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this looks like repeated addition, and repeated addition is really multiplication. So he runs 6 m's, okay, there's 6 days, he runs m miles a day, so what do we have there? But altogether it's 12. Well, we know that when we want to solve an equation, the first step is to simplify. Well, we can't simplify anything here. It's already in simplest terms. After that, we need to isolate the variable. Okay, the variable m is our variable. When we isolate it, that means we want to get it all by itself. How do we do that? Well, what's happening to the m? The m is being multiplied by 6. So the way we isolate is we do the inverse operation. What's the inverse operation of multiplying something by 6? It's dividing it by 6. So we divide by 6. And what we do to one side of the equation to keep our equation balanced, we must do to the other. So we divide this side by 6. So what happens here? The 6's cancel each other out, or I should say factor each other out, and we're going to find out that m is equal to 12 divided by 6, which is 2. So m is equal to 2 miles. There's our answer. And that makes sense. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 12. So Marco runs 2 miles a day. Not bad. Now let's take a look at his sister, Juanita. Now it says Juanita runs the same distance each week. Okay, so we can go over here and underline this. Okay, Juanita is also running 12 miles each week. But she takes 3 days off. Okay, so she takes 3 days off from running each week. How many miles does she run a day? Well, we know how many miles she runs a week, the same distance as Marco, which is 12. Okay, so Juanita is running 12 miles per week. Okay, and the question is, how many days a week is she running? Well, it says 3. She takes 3 days off. Well, there's 7 days in a week. 7 minus 3 is 4. Okay, so she's running only 4 days a week. Okay, how many miles does she run each week? Well, we want to figure that out. That's what we have to figure out. And that's the one thing we don't know. So once again, we're going to use m for the miles she runs each day. We know that she's running the same distance each day, just like Marco. So what is our equation? How do we start out? Well, we know that total, Juanita runs 12 miles. Okay, and we know that she runs m represents the number of miles that she runs each day. Okay, we know that she runs 4 days. So day 1, she runs m miles. Day 2, she runs m more miles. Day 3, she runs m miles. And day 4, she runs m miles as well. So what do we have here? We have repeated addition once again, which is really multiplication. So we can say that 12 is equal to 4m. And once again, simplify. Well, this is already in simplest terms. We want to solve. Here's our equation. So we want to isolate the variable. What's happening to the variable? It's being multiplied by 4. What's the inverse operation of being multiplied by 4? Dividing by 4. And what we do to one side, we must do to the other. When we factor our 4's out, we're left with m over here, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So Juanita runs 3 miles each day.